The Rams turned a castaway into a breakout star. The inside scoop on just how they've done that. And a Rams legend back on the Hall of Fame semifinalist ballot. Can he finally make it in? And a quick injury update for the Rams-Panthers game this Sunday. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest. And welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We're on the road to 5K. 5,000 subscribers. Josh and I believe we can hit that by the end of the year 2025. So make sure to hit that sub button right now and click that notification bell. Click all so you get notified and never miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest video content pieces covering all things Rams, so you do not miss a beat this NFL regular season. Leave a like on this video for the Rams taking that fat W against the Bucs 34-7, moving them to the number 1 seed in the conference. And I just want to shout out to everybody who watched the solo stream on Sunday that I did for the Rams-Buccaneers game. It was a question as to whether I would go live or not. I decided, you know what, let's do it. Let's full send it. And it ended up working out. We ended up even getting rated by Tom Grossi, of all people. And that's not possible without you all watching these videos. So Josh and I just want to thank you for that. And Tom, if you are watching this again, thank you. We hope you keep on tuning in. Send these videos to Tom as well, and anyone else who you believe would like them. But I just had to say thank you again for all of your amazing support yesterday and throughout this entire time that I've and Josh have been making these videos. But now to our main story of the day. The Rams turned castaway former first-round pick Emmanuel Forbes into a star, and Ramblin' Fan has just how they've done that right now, which we're going to get into. The LA Rams have a knack for knowing the value of NFL players, oftentimes more acutely than the teams that originally drafted or signed them. While it's a pattern that has buoyed the team's success for years, nothing is a more shining example than the complete turnaround of former first-round cornerback Emmanuel Forbes Jr. He was released by the Washington Commanders after less than 2 seasons, but after struggling to fit LA's defense, he's not going anywhere. He found his home, and the team has found a starting cornerback. Talk about a turnaround. It has never been easy for Forbes, a player who was kicked to the curb just over 1 season with the Washington Commanders, but he was scooped up instantly by general manager Les Snead, reuniting him with safety Cam Curl in a second area that needed stars. Yes. Again, I talk about this with people offline, and I'm just so surprised the Commanders couldn't even trade him. That you're telling me no one would have given you a 6th, 7th round pick for Emmanuel Forbes, a guy who was only 23 at the time of his release, 24 now. That there's no point that someone wouldn't have taken a chance on him if you decided to trade him. But hey, shout out to the Commanders, man. They decided to release him, brought him to us, and he has been awesome so far throughout this year. If we just go throughout a little bit, he's 6 foot 180, age 24. Got his stats written down here. He has 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions, a career high already on the season, in 3 consecutive weeks, I might add, too. And 13 passes defensed already, which is a career high for a season, and half of his career number of 26. Yeah, he has just been so good this year. He's had a knack for the ball. He's been able to help force turnovers, help defend, help get his hands in on key balls. We've seen him many times. We saw it last week. We saw it to prevent a touchdown in the Rams-Seahawks game as well. That he's just been so big in those situations. He had to cover JSN, cover Emeka Ibuka, and he did a really solid job with those. In a couple weeks, we'll have to cover Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we'll have to cover JSN again. And even against the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be an easy cover just because of his height as well. It's going to be he has a very interesting task ahead of him these next few weeks, but I believe he can do it with the way he has been playing. And while it's not been a skyrocketing trajectory, recent reports confirm that Forbes is delivering his draft day optimism. Yeah, he is. This is what the Commanders saw in him, but they weren't able to bring out. He was really only with Dan Quinn for a little bit, and Dan Quinn never really gave him a full shot, and we know Dan Quinn's a pretty good defensive coach. I'm kind of surprised he didn't give him more run there, but hey, Chris Shula, Rams, Sean McVay, our strength coaches, he put on some weight as well. He was even skinnier when he came out in the draft. I remember that. So he put on a little bit of weight too, and now he has become even better for this Rams team. And Next Gen Stats cites Forbes defending 7 targets with no receptions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 12. Not only is that incredibly impressive, but no defensive back has even matched that feat since 2022. He's been rapidly improving since Week 9 when the defense needed him most. Yes, he was not awful, but not great early in the season. Obviously, the Eagles game covering A.J. Brown, that's just such a weight advantage that A.J. Brown was kind of able to shove him around, kind of little boy him a little bit. But ever since that game, it's just been going up and up for Forbes, especially these last 3 weeks for this Rams team. And he's been a defensive MVP. It's him and Nate Landman, man. I've talked about Nate Landman when he signed that extension over the weekend, so if you missed that video, go back and watch that after this one. But Forbes deserves his own video as well. I mentioned him as the other guy key to the turnaround. And we saw it again last week. 0 catches, 0 yards. Just absolutely an amazing performance of Emmanuel Forbes against the Buccaneers. And last week, we have his actual game stats as well. He had 1 tackle and an interception, but again, 5 passes defense, getting his hands in those passing lanes, batting down those balls, forcing the Bucs to get off the field. Again, some of that was with Teddy Bridgewater, so we have to take that into account, but again, that's not on them. He did what he was supposed to do, no matter who was at quarterback, and had an absolutely amazing game. And why is Emmanuel Forbes' resurgence is so vital for the Rams' success? There is no secret to success in the NFL. Several key factors often spell success. Health and durability top that list. Winning the turnover battle is a key factor as well, but roster depth and finding players who could step up into starting roles is a third and often overlooked factor. It really kind of is. When you look back at a lot of teams, you look back at the Bills right now, and how a lot of people were saying they didn't do enough at the deadline, and we all know they were in on Jalen Waddle, but they didn't want to give up enough for the Dolphins to be happy about, and we've seen that kind of really hurt them, and now they did sign Brandon Cooks today, the Bills, so we'll see if that helps, but that doesn't necessarily help you lead to success. I mean, you've been seeing it with the Chiefs, with their injuries. The Chargers, especially with their injuries. Again, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, 2 of the best O-linemen in football already, out. It's very hard for your O-line to keep up. But we've had Rob Havenstein out. Warren McClendon has been a guy who's been able to step up throughout this year and play quite well. That you almost feel like you have a successor to him. And Emmanuel Forbes has been that guy. With Witherspoon being out, Forbes has kind of stepped into CB1. Now with Clinton Lake being out, again, it's only been a week that both have been out. And Spoon's going to be back hopefully soon. But he has been able to be a CB1 that you can turn to. Him and Kobe Durant have been one of the better corner duos in the league. Not the best, but one of the better duos in the league because they work so well with each other. And that just goes to show with the Rams coaching and scouting just how great it's been to be able to have Forbes and turn him into a star. The defense is the best in the NFL right now. That's right, the defense has allowed just 16.3 points per game, the best in the NFL. But if you dive into the details, the team is playing without 2 starting DBs. Ahkello Witherspoon and Quentin Lake. So how did this defense hold a very good Tampa Bay Bucs offense to just 7 points? Emmanuel Forbes is starting to exhibit the same confidence in himself that the team has in him. And that confidence is showing up in outstanding performances. It's about a team backing a player, not casting him aside. Yeah, exactly. Again, even for the Commanders, I said it a little while ago, you couldn't even trade him. I don't know if the Commanders, I tried to look this up, but I couldn't really find it. If anyone knows, leave it down below in the comments. But I tried to look up whether the Commanders would try to at least trade Emmanuel Forbes to get some value back for him, just from a business management and team building perspective, but it doesn't seem like they did. It's something they really just put him aside, and the Rams were like, yeah, former first rounder, let's take a chance. If he's bad, we also would cut him or trade him, but he wasn't great in 24. Not the best start to this year, but this last month especially has been so good, and I think it's sticky. Is he a CB1 long term? We hope so. I definitely think he's a starter long term for sure. I think the Commanders definitely gave up on him too early, and the Rams got exactly what they were looking for. And some more stats on this Rams defense as well. They are 13th in passing yards allowed with 208.5, and the 7th fewest passing touchdowns allowed with 13. Both of those numbers per the Fox Sports website, and those are definitely big numbers too. Again, the yards, that's the Chris Shula, Raheem Morris style yards, not points, and that's what we've seen in this team. And the yards, they're going to be around 10th, 11th-ish, but touchdowns given up and scoring, they're going to be near the top, which is exactly what you want to see for a team that's fighting to go to a Super Bowl. And Forbes is coming into his own. While he is not an all-pro yet, he is formidable as a defensive back who can provide just enough sticky coverage to allow the pass rush to find its range. It's no coincidence that in a game in which he allowed 0 completions, the pass rush recorded 4 quarterback sacks. Yeah, these work hand in hand, and this goes with all these great defenses. See the Broncos, Texans, the Eagles, their defense has been great despite the offensive struggles, except in the second half of this week. But we see that these units can work in tandem with each other to build these great defenses. You know, Broncos 2016, the old Patriots teams that were in the Super Bowl, and the newer Patriots team this year even. They're working together. The Packers, we see that as well when they're clicking. So a lot of these great defenses really do rely on both units to go together. And sometimes even just the pressure can allow for interceptions, like in the Seahawks game. Darnold was still completing some passes, but the pressure was able to allow for some interceptions to get the cover guys in rhythm too. And when these units are working hand in hand, this Rams defense is almost impossible to stop, and Emmanuel Forbes is a key part of that. And it's a team sport, and Forbes is a key contributor right now, and he was claimed off of waivers at the cost of nothing. A gamble? Perhaps, but a low-risk, high-reward gamble is always in style. So far, the Rams have hit the jackpot. Oh, 100% the Rams have hit the jackpot. He has been great. Again, the start, it didn't look like it, but again, recently, he has been so good and so dominant. I do want to point out something, too, about his contract. This is per Spot Rack. He has a $2.15 million salary this year, $2.85 million in 2026, and a club option for 2027. So we'll see how Emmanuel Forbes performs through the end of the 26 season, whether they pick it up or not. Or maybe, I don't know if that could be voided by a new extension. We'll see, because if Forbes has a great finish this year and is great next year, I'm sure his agency is going to want him to get a new deal, and he'll deserve a new deal. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But for now, he's the 38th highest paid corner, which seems pretty good. Seems like you're getting some pretty good value there for that. I'd probably put him around that 20-ish range. He's definitely, not a Pat Surtain or a Derek Stingley right now. He's not or a Sauce Gardner level corner, obviously, just yet. But he's definitely, in my opinion, better than the 38th best corner in football pay-wise, at least for sure. So this contract is amazing. You have this year, 2026, and 2027 all under team control, which is just absolutely amazing. And comment down below right now your thoughts on Emmanuel Forbes and his resurgence. It has been the other key, besides Nate Landman, to the reason why this defense has been able to turn around despite some injuries all throughout the year. Now let's get to our second story of today, which is Rams legend Torry Holt back on the Hall of Fame ballot. Did not make it last year. We'll see if he can get in this year, and this story is brought to us by Rams Wire, which we will be getting into right now. It's what's become an annual tradition for more than a decade. Torry Holt has advanced to the semifinalist stage of Pro Football Hall of Fame voting. A total of 26 semifinalists were announced today, Tuesday, including the former St. Louis Rams legendary wide receiver. It's the 12th time Holt has been named a semifinalist, the most of any player in this year's class of candidates. Yeah, in this year's class of candidates, got some good players. We got two for sure, and Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, two of my favorite players ever. And obviously got guys like Ivan Terry, who should be in at some point, Jason Witten as well, Reggie Wayne, Luke Kuechly, Lomas Brown, guys who you can all say should be in this Hall of Fame class. And we already have two guys for sure in. Larry Fitzgerald, it's going to be Andrew Brees. It's going to be tough for Torry Holt to get in, but I do believe he can get in. We're going to get into some reasons why he should be in here shortly, but we first got to get some more context. Holt should advance to the next stage as a finalist, having made it that far in each of the last 6 years. But the question then becomes, will he earn enough votes to get a gold jacket? His resume is certainly deserving of one, finishing his career with 13,382 receiving yards and 74 touchdowns. He had 8 straight seasons of at least 1,100 yards receiving, the second longest streak in NFL history. I believe that's behind Jerry Rice, because Mike Evans has a 1,000-yard streak that will end this year, unfortunately for him, but not the 1,100-yard streak. Yeah, just one of the best players at his position. Isaac Bruce already being in, I get it, was kind of more the number one. He kind of had a 1A, 1B scenario with the greatest show on turf. Obviously, Warner, Folk all in too. So we will have to see if Torry Holt can end up getting in. And below it, there is a list of all 26. I did not include it in here if you want to find it. NFL posted it all over social media, or you could just Google it. But it did not include London Fletcher, which I also find interesting. The former Rams linebacker was one of 52 candidates in the previous stage of voting, but did not advance. London Fletcher should advance again. Good for multiple teams, but I definitely believe London Fletcher's a Hall of Famer for sure. And definitely should be in the top 26. I mean, come on. London Fletcher's got to advance. And the voting committee will trim this list of 26 semifinalists to only 15 finalists later this year, before the final 2026 class is revealed next February. So we'll wait and see. Probably around that holiday time, Christmas time, is when that will come out. But we do need to get into Torry Holt's stats here. He's 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, 7-time Pro Bowler, 1-time second-team All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl winner, all-decades team of the 2000s. He had 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, as this mentioned, with the Rams out of 10. And now we have to get to some records that Torry Holt does hold, because I think these are just absolutely insane. He has 6 straight 1,300-yard seasons, 2000 to 2005. 6 straight seasons with 90-plus receptions, 02 to 07. 2 1,600-yard receiving seasons, tied with Marvin Harrison, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Calvin Johnson, and future Hall of Famer Justin Jefferson. Highest average game, 3 receptions plus, 63 yards. He also ranks first in the NFL from 2000 to 2008 with 817 receptions for 11,872 yards and 562 first downs during that span. He ranked top 10 in receiving yards all time when he retired, now ranked 17. So you can definitely see that there's a lot of categories that Torry Holt leads in that is close to the top 10. He has the 3rd highest receiving yards per game for a career, 77.4. receptions in a single decade, 868 from 2000 to 2009, and receiving yards in a single decade with 12,594 also in the 2000s. Yeah, Torry Holt's Hall of Famer to me. I get him not being first ballot just because he wasn't like the best at his position at any point, but that peak is insane. To have the record for yards in a decade, receptions in a decade, it shows you were such an important player. 7 Pro Bowls, it's like he should be in. 2 1,600-yard seasons. You saw the names he was with. He was with Julio Jones, an all-time great. Justin Jefferson, a future all-time great. Calvin Johnson, the most slept-on receiver of all time, in my opinion. And Marvin Harrison and Antonio Brown. We all know all those guys except Antonio Brown will be in the Hall of Fame. Antonio Brown deserving of it, but his off-the-field stuff, unfortunately, may not let him in there. But Torry Holt is a guy that needs to be in the Hall of Fame. You see the stats. He won a Super Bowl. Impact on the game, which I think matters for the Hall of Fame. I think he impacted the game greatly. The whole Rams team did for the greatest show on turf offense. He should be in. I am all for this. He'll advance. I think he's going to advance for sure. But the main question is, will he get in? I believe yes. Comment that down below right now, what you think about Torry Holt being in the Hall of Fame. Or comment your favorite Torry Holt memory if you were a Rams fan when Torry Holt was there watching. Because I want to know, because I was not necessarily born just yet when Torry Holt was dominating. And I was not watching football yet, even still while he was dominating. At least my early memories of football are like 2009, 2010, late stages Torry Holt. So I don't have any live memories of him dominating. But we do have a quick injury update to get into. Trayvon Moehrig, not an injury, but suspended for punching Juwan Jennings in a certain area after the the Panthers-Niners game yesterday. Definitely an interesting fight there post-game. But also, star corner for the Panthers, J.C. Horn, was on the injury report. I haven't seen anything where it says he's going to be out, but he did have a limited practice session earlier this week today, so we will have to see about that. So those could be big for this Panthers game. But that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. Remember to hit that subscribe button right now. We're on the road to 5K, 5,000 subscribers. Josh and I want to hit it by the end of the year. So if you want to be part of the journey, hit that sub button, click that notification bell, click all, so you get notified and never miss whenever we upload our new daily Rams Digest video content pieces covering all things Rams, so you do not miss a beat this NFL regular season. Leave a like on this video for the Rams taking that W. And Josh and I will be back streaming this coming Sunday at around 9:55 p.m. early window game, Rams-Panthers. And make sure to comment down below right now your thoughts on Emmanuel Forbes' rise from castaway to star, and how you think the Rams have developed him and why. And also comment down below, Torry Holt Hall of Famer, yes or no? I think yes. And your favorite Torry Holt memory if you have one as well. And this is my last video before Thanksgiving. There will be no post this Thanksgiving, so I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving from me. I am so thankful for everybody who has watched any video, supported any video. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Josh Finehirsh. As always, thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one, and have a great rest of your day. And a happy Thanksgiving.